So this week, the NDC goes to court. They disagree with the outcome of the 2020 elections, the presidential elections, as declared by the Electoral Commission. A member of the legal team, Abraham Amaliba, is on the show this morning to talk us through the matters. A very good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Mama.
Thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Great. So first of all, tell us about your findings when you went out to some of the places in the country on this 2020 elections, because I remember the party sent its legal team outside to go and collect, was it evidence? Because you believe that you had won the elections and not the MPP's candidate. So what did you find?
So let me start by saying good morning to your viewers. The event that you are talking about had to do with Senate East and Techima South, where a team led by the General Secretary and some of our lawyers went to those constituencies to ensure that the proper thing is done. And in the case of Senate West, eventually, when the counting was done, the NDC won that seat. What is outstanding is the Techima South. But in talking about our findings, when our flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama, rejected the outcome of the elections, the party immediately put together a team of auditors made up of mathematicians, statisticians, accountants to audit the pink sheets. That exercise completed some few days ago, and they came out with their findings.
So you now have all the pink sheets?
We now have them. Now, having completed their work, they gave us the findings of their work. The party looked at it, and the party then came to the firm conclusion that some infractions have been occasioned, and so instructed the legal team to head to court. And that is why probably tomorrow we will be in court to file an election petition.
But it's interesting, isn't it? Because even before the auditors got to work, you were convinced that you had won the elections.
That is so, because we had a strong room, and that strong room was turning out results. We also were convinced that we had won Parliament. And immediately they heard that, the MPP heard that, they sent tax to go to some constituencies and literally beat up people and have the returning officers announce results in favor of their candidates.
Really?
Literally.
Which places are you?
Techima South is one where people were killed. Techima South is one. They did similar things at Upper West Denchira, which we resisted. They did same in Takwa in Swayem. Takwa in Swayem was another place where they used the military, they used the police to go and harass and intimidate the returning officers, and they called the elections for them. In Techima South, for instance, there was no coalition at all. No coalition at all. In Techima South...
But you say you have pink sheets now.
We have pink sheets, but there was no... after the pink sheets, you have to have what is called a summary sheet, which is like a coalition sheet for all the polling stations in that constituency. That was not done in Techima South.
So that you don't have?
That we don't have.
But you have the individual...
Oh, yes. We have the and so when we put them together, we know the NDC has won. That is what the EC is refusing to give us, because there was no coalition done. There was no proper coalition done in Techima South. You remember when the Mensa was announcing the results, she said that Techima South was still outstanding. Now, there were issues relating to recounting. That was done. And so the next morning, 8 a.m., the people were becoming agitated and asking the questions, why is the coalition not done? I am told that the regional elections officer came to the Techima South constituency and promised that he was going to do the coalition, but he needed to rush to Senate East to resolve a matter. So whilst he went to Senate East, the PC, and then the...
Who's PC?
The MPP PC, Marta J. Kosa, my good friend, and then also the district chief executive for that area came with the military, and that was where the shooting began, and some announcement was made indicating that the seat had gone to the MPP.
So you didn't have agents there?
Our agents were beaten up. If you watch the video, people were beat. Our PC was even manhandled. Our PC. If you saw the video, you see it. People were beaten.
Okay. So one of the issues.
Some were killed. You know, some were killed.
The issues you had with Techiman South is the fact that coalition wasn't done.
Yes.
Okay.
And yet, results were declared in favor of the MPP.
So in all, there are 5 constituencies that you're contesting, correct? Well, you're not in court yet.
We are not in court yet. Yeah.
Okay, but you're taking 5 constituencies on.
We intend to do so.
Okay, great. But let's come to the presidential. You say you may go to court on Tuesday. Is it a may or there's a definite position?
We are going to court. And what I mean is that there's a clear decision to go to court on the presidential elections. And we'll file our petition. That's what I mean.
Okay. But that's when you say it could be tomorrow, Tuesday.
It could be tomorrow, it could be Wednesday. Okay. But the team will decide.
Okay. So what are your issues?
I will not want to put away all information. It is important to note that our opponents are listening, and it's not, we do not want to put out all the information before we file the petition.
But eventually, when you file, your opponents will know
yes,
exactly
but not now.
You filed.
We don't want them, but not now. That's what I said before the petition. It's not, but on top of my head could just be the arithmetic errors that were committed by Jim Mensah in declaring the Nana Akufo-Addo as duly elected. I
remember during, the Electoral Commission has said that that mistake did not affect the outcome of the election. Yes. So is that what you're contesting, or when you put together the numbers, you got a different figure?
So she was trying to pull a wool over our eyes. When we use our mathematicians and our statisticians to subject what she's announced as the results, there were a number of flaws. That one, if you do it properly, Nana Akufo-Addo will come to 49-point-something%. What she did and eventually came out to say that, but it doesn't affect.
Okay, and the NDC's John Dramani Mahama would get what percent?
No, nobody will cross 50 plus 1.
Okay, so that will take us into a runoff.
That one, yes. But there are other issues that we are sending to court, and if it is upheld, can overturn the results. And those are the issues that I say, just wait. When we file our petition, you'll see them. Okay,
so with the issues, the issue with the numbers, the figures that you say, if you put together with the changes, what are you asking the court specifically to do on that?
So with the mathematical error that was occasioned by her announcement, on that particular relief, we would indicate to the court that if you do it properly, this will be the outcome. However, we would want the court to commission an independent person to do it for all to see. Don't also forget that we will be requesting for auditing of the electoral materials.
Oh, okay.
You remember our flag bearer call on the EC, if the EC thinks that it has discharged its responsibilities well, to allow for the auditing of the pink sheets. She has since turned it down. I think the proper forum to do that will be in the court. So, and don't forget, in the last election petition, the Supreme Court orders for the auditing of the pink sheets.
Yeah, so that was something that critics were asking the NDC to do instead of call on the Electoral Commission. And, you know, the call was go to courts and let that happen through the courts.
But why?
That's what happened in the 2012-2013 petition.
Yes. Why would you, if the matter is capable of being resolved, if the matter is capable of being dealt with without going to courts, why don't you do that? Why don't you open up? Indeed, before she announced the results, we had sent a petition to her, which is done.
Well,
all over.
That's something that I'm yet to hear Jean Mensa herself speak to it, but other officials of the commission say that they had not seen any petition.
Why? If I'm sending a petition to your head of department, am I supposed to share it with you and everybody before I get there?
Didn't we see the minority march to the Electoral Commission?
No, what I mean is that while we had agents in the strong room, these agents in the strong room, at the time that the results were coming, saw some anomalies and sent a petition to Jean Mensa in her office, not in the strong room, in her office.
So were there witnesses?
But why? Why should there be witnesses?
Oh, I'm just asking, because now that we haven't heard anybody else apart from the NDC,
yes, the NDC
that a petition was presented.
Yes, if you want a copy, we can produce it. We sent a petition to the EC boss. She told our representative to go talk to the flag bearer, who would in turn speak to the Peace Council, and the Peace Council would then intervene in that matter. Immediately our people left, she switched off her phone and started the announcement.
So this was your agents versus the chairperson of the Electoral Commission?
Yes.
Okay.
And there are correspondences between she and our agents on the phone of one of them. She even promised that if they went and they got stuck, she would send her motorcade to come and bring them back.
Is this a recorded audio? Or this was text?
That is it. I'm saying that there are some of the communication in one of them's phone. He has it. Okay.
So you still insist that she ignored your petition?
She ignored us. In the past, Afarijan would normally hear the two sides and say, no, I don't think that there's a problem, so I'll go ahead and announce, and you can go proceed to court. But typical of Jean Mensa, she will not listen to anybody. She doesn't hear evil. She doesn't see evil. So what she could do was to trick the NDC people to leave the scene. You realize that when they were announced, the NDC agents were not there. They were then at the flag bearer's office.
So your agents got tricked by the Electoral Commission chairperson?
Yes, that's what she did. She did that by asking them to go and see the flag bearer, only for her to then decide to announce without them. And you heard McMahon saying that our people ran away. Ran away for what? Why would they run away? Okay,
so how many issues? Because you added the auditing of the results. That's also a different issue that you're raising?
Mama V, if you notice, I am telling you issues that are already in the public domain and that are common to every Ghanaian. And that's what I talked about, the errors committed in the arithmetic. And I talked about also the issue of auditing, because our flag bearer had mentioned it.
But I won't auditing, if we're using what the court did with the 2012 petition, that's something that it would ask for itself in arriving at a conclusion. So is this something that you must specifically request for?
But what if the Supreme Court decides not to do that? So you must specifically ask for it and let it be that, already we are going to do it. But if you fail to ask for it, then you cannot be in court saying that they should do it. Because if the Supreme Court thinks otherwise and think that it's not so necessary to do the auditing, you cannot hold them responsible because you didn't ask for it. So when you are going to court, ask for all the reliefs that you want. You don't do it piecemeal. You get to a point, you say, I want this. Then when they finish, say, I want this. You must ask for your reliefs for the court to also know that those are the things you want for certainty purposes.
Okay. So you're still, and also how many issues again?
No, if we say how many issues, I can tell you that there will be more than these two issues.
Okay.
I just gave you two, but there will be more than these two issues. Don't forget that when you are going to court, you have to hold close to your chest, your strategy. You don't sit on national television and tell your opponent who is listening now all the strategies. And you would have been naked before you get to court. You are going to be a lawyer very soon. So I think that, take that from me. Don't put out all your strategy in the public domain and then think that the other person will not counter. Even these two that I've mentioned, which is obvious that they know, by now they are also doing their homework, trying to see how they can counter that. The essence of the game is to ensure that you do not let your opponent get to know what strategy you have in court. That is much important.
Let's be clear, though. They will also have the time to respond because, you know, per the rules, they will have 10 days after you file to give a response to the court. So this is something that will be open for everybody to see and hear, and they'll have enough time to also give a response. That
is so. And don't forget that the rules have now changed, and you cannot have a long hearing of the case. You just need some 42 days, and the hearing will end. So this time, too, there will be pre-trial conference, if you want, case management. Lawyers of the two sides will go in. They will look at their pleadings together with their exhibits, and then be certain that these are the number of exhibits we are bringing. There are 10,000. Then these people also say that, well, we have also brought 5,000. So all those matters will be settled during case management. So that when you then come out into open court, the trial will now just go on swiftly.
But that's all of that would happen within 42 days.
That's so. That's so.
All right. So, well, we wish you well. And I guess we'll wait to see. It's just tomorrow, Tuesday or Wednesday. That's the deadline, by the way, within which, if you have a case, you think you're convinced you have a case, you can file a petition. But there's also another issue with residents of Central Kofi, Akwafu, Lolobi, Likpe areas who are crying that they've been shortchanged. Is that a concern by the NDC? We'll come back to that issue, but we want to listen to the Volta Regional Minister on this, particularly in the aftermath of the court bailiff who was allegedly assaulted.
Yes, I think that they deserve their democratic rights to do whatever they want to do. But we are very grateful to God for how far He has brought this country, Ghana. We were very apprehensive, but we've had a peaceful Ghana before, during, and after the elections. So it is important that we show gratitude to God, because we have always said that the battle is the Lord's. And once the Lord has granted us the peace of our nation, and Ghana is still together, we need to come and give praise and thanks to the Almighty God.
Honorable, for you, as a regional minister, there's something happening in your region with regards to the Hohoi constituency. In fact, just yesterday, we were told that the bailiff was going to serve the MP-elect for the area was assaulted. I don't know if that has come to your attention, and what the security situation generally in the Volta region.
No, the security situation in the Volta region is under control. We don't have any threat to the peace of the region as of now. Everything has been peaceful. You recall that during the elections, everybody was worried about Volta region, but the elections in Volta region went on peacefully, and the people, the chiefs and people of the Volta region want to maintain the peace. So we assure the people of Ghana that as far as Volta region is concerned, we are peaceful having people, and we shall continue to be peaceful in the region.
So, but we heard about the bailiff who was attacked yesterday. When was going to serve the MP elect for Hohoi?
No, I've not been informed of that yet, but I'll find out.
What do you make of all the controversy around the Hohoi election, parliamentary election in your?
No, because that was a miracle. People never expected it. People never expected that MPP will win a seat in the Volta region, and it has happened. So Baham is going to be a struggle, but it has happened.
No, but the point is that it was deliberate to take some people off the constituency in order to allow your candidate to win the election.
No, it wasn't so. It wasn't so. It wasn't so. The OT region was created in 2018, 2019. OT region was created, and the Guan area has been part and parcel of the OT region, and there was a Supreme Court ruling that those people cannot be part of the Hohoi constituency. So So as far as we are concerned, it is settled. We have a seat in the Volta region, and that's only the first. More are going to come.
And we are insisting that those from Lolobi and Pafu do not belong to the Hohoi.
No, they don't, because they belong to the Oti region. And Hohoi is not part of the Oti region.
So you're confident that your candidate in the Volta region, that is Bitamewu, is going to emerge victor of this?
He is an MP elect for Volta, for Hohoi constituency, and will be sworn in on the 7th of January as the member of parliament for Hohoi.
But there's an injunction on him, do you know that?
Don't worry about that.
They're asking the court to refrain him from holding himself out as the MP elect for the area.
No, I think we are going to meet them in court. There will be arguments in court,
right,
and the judge will take a decision.
So my colleague Parker Wilson, there interacting with the Volta regional minister, he heads the security in the region, and that's why specific questions of security matters concerning Hohoi was put to him. Well, in that conversation, he said he had not been briefed about the bailiff who was assaulted, so he didn't specifically speak to that matter. But Mr. Malba, is this an issue that the NDC is interested in, and how are you following it?
No, we are very much interested. Don't forget that the people who have been excluded from voting for their MP have the right to exercise their choice as to who they want to be their MP. And I've heard people say that, why is the NDC demonstrating? Why don't you go to court? As if demonstrating is not part of our democratic processes. But this is a message to those who are saying that go to court. And we'll go to court. In the case of Hohoi, there is an interim injunction. A bailiff of a court is going to serve the PC, Ameu, and he's beaten up. I've not heard the critical voices in this country condemn that act. Look at him. I know him. I know
Which critical voices were you?
I've not heard the Peace Council. I've not heard the Peace Council condemn this act, because they are on the rooftops saying that go to court. Now, a group of Ghanaians say that they will not demonstrate, because that's what they say we shouldn't do, even though it is legitimate to do so. They heeded to the call of the Peace Council and went to court. Court processes are going to be served on Ameu, and he's beaten up. I expected those who were championing go to court, to have issued a statement condemning the beating of this bailiff. Those hypocrites who think that the MPP and Akufo-Addo are always right, but when the NDC does something, it's wrong. God is watching them too. Most of them are pastors, and God is watching them. You cannot, on one breath, be championing a certain cause, asking the NDC, stop demonstrating, go to court. A section of the NDC or a section of Ghanaians decided to go to court. Brutalities have been meted out to a citizen of this country by Amewu's people.
That's an allegation.
And nobody. But who beat the man?
That's been alleged.
No. Who beat the man? Tell me. Who, apart from Amewu and his boys, who beat this bailiff? His wife?
But why would they?
No, his wife.
Why would they beat him?
Because he was coming to save Amewu court processes. And they think that the court processes are a hindrance to them.
But that's something that if you are served or not, in terms of if you directly receive it or not, it won't stop the court from taking its action.
Because you are studying law, you always want to...
No.
I'm saying that somebody has
not bringing studies. You're saying that.
I am saying that...
I'm only trying to... Because you're saying that Amewu and his boys beat him. And I'm asking, why would they do that? And then you said that is to stop them from being served, right? Or stop Mr. Amewu from being served. But I'm just pointing out to you that whether you directly receive the document or not, it really doesn't stop anything.
Has there been a beating or not? Has there been a beating or not?
Well, there has, but you and I did the beating, did we?
Does somebody have a puff face, and is there blood coming out of somebody's mouth or not? What are you talking about court process? I'm not interested in court process. I'm talking about the health of that man who was beaten.
Yeah, but you're
and I'm saying that
you're not even making an allegation. You say straight ahead that it was Peter Mewu and his boys who did the beating.
Yes.
I was just drawing your attention to the fact that that still is an allegation.
It's not an allegation because the man who was beating himself said they were the people who beat him. Unless you want to say that the man who was beaten did not know that those who were beating him.
So, Mr. Malba, what you have just done now is to attribute it to the bailiff. But that's not what you did earlier. So I guess we're clear now, so we can move on.
If I am going to go back and give a history of whatever I'm going to say, this program will not end. That's why I gave you a simple rhetorical question. Who else will beat this man who is going to serve Amewu and Co? The wife? No. His brother? No. So I am saying that, let's not digress. Those who are saying that we should go to court, they've started beating people who have been in court, and court processes are being served. Where is the Christian Council on this? Where is the Peace Council on this? Where is Emil Short on this? Emil Short is a lawyer. Why won't he condemn this? Why is it that they are afraid to speak under Akufo-Addo? Why is it that there are atrocities happening in this country, and yet the critical voices who spoke under Mahama are all quiet?
Why are you making a direct call to Emil Short?
Emil Short, if you don't know, is the chair of the eminent persons that the EC put together. Am I okay now? Can I proceed? So, look, unless you, me, and your cameraman begin to talk to these people in plain language, that you cannot on one breath condemn one political party for certain acts, and when another political party comes, you keep mute. You can't do that. You can't. So they themselves must be criticized, and we must begin to critique them. And that's what I'm doing this morning. You are the ones who are criticizing the NDC for demonstrating. I expect that this is like the second day. Yesterday, I think it happened yesterday. Today is the second day. I've not yet heard a statement.
This happened on Saturday, I think.
So now 2 days. 2 days. When Mahama said boot for boot, did you hear the chairman of Peace Council say? What did he say? He came out and condemned Mahama. When Anadu said, all die be die, he was mute. That is the kind of thing that will not help this country. When this country descends into chaos, it will not be the actions of the government. It will be the failure on the part of the critical voices, the hypocritical people who have decided to keep quiet. They will be the persons. And for Akufo-Addo and his government, they want to intimidate people to continue to be in government. They will buy people. They will kill people to be in government. But those critical voices must begin to talk. When the Peace Council came to the NDC's office, when the Peace Council came to the NDC office, when the Peace Council, let me tell you.
I want us to have, and I think we started very well, but where you're going now won't help all of us. Because you're making wild allegations.
Somebody is beaten.
As for Nana Akufo-Addo and his people,
yes,
they will kill people.
Yes.
They will buy.
Why didn't they kill people at Techima South? Didn't soldiers kill people at Techima?
Yeah, but you're specifically linking it to the president.
Yes, the president. Who is the commander in chief of the Ghana Armed Forces? Have those people been rebooked? When he was
no.
Have those people been rebooked?
Mr. Malaba, I want us to have a decent,
have those people been rebooked?
I want us to have a decent conversation, and I will not allow you to make statements like that, because that's not healthy. That's not healthy.
If you don't
but we all know that something has happened.
If you don't want me on your show,
investigated.
If you don't want me on your show because I speak the truth, you can let me go.
No,
I'll go.
Mr. Malaba,
this is not my house.
You're also a legal practitioner.
This is your house.
We're
this
a
is your
legal
office.
practitioner.
So if you want me,
Mr. Malba, it has
I am saying that who is the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces?
It has nothing to do with the fact that this is my house. It has everything to do with us having a very decent conversation.
Which includes not criticizing wrongdoing.
Yeah, but you are, that's a wild allegation that you're making.
That the president is the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces.
That the president killed people just for power.
I'm saying
that's a wrong thing to say.
I'm saying that.
You shouldn't say that.
I'm saying that this government would do what it would take to be in government. But the critical voices must be the ones to rise up and speak against it. People have been killed in Techima.
So I think that it's fair when you speak like that. But
people
we make direct allegations that we cannot substantiate. We will not allow that to go on. So if you agree that we can continue and have a decent
people have been killing,
but we will do that.
I was worried on the day that the president was doing his acceptance speech. He failed to mention the killings in Techima and said everything went up peacefully and that the EC had done a yeoman's work. When 5 people were killed in Techima South, they are not Ghanaians. I expected the president to have made a passing comment and to at least assuage the pains of the family of those who lost their life. Nothing happened. And I'm saying that here. You just showed. Somebody has been beaten. Is that not a Ghanaian? Your former colleague, Manas Azure, has been threatened because he made comments about the elections. So you think that because those things are not directed at you, it's okay?
No.
So,
okay, so Mr. Balaba, what you've even just said now, that's not fair to me. Because that's an issue that we have even discussed this morning on the show with the threat. And it's not just Manasseh. There are some of us even here who have been threatened. So the fact that you haven't seen us come out individually to come and speak doesn't mean that. But we have filed complaints at the police, and they're investigating the matter. But you can't say that. But Mr. Malaba, I just want to say that. See, the other comment that you made in terms of the tragedy that has happened with people being killed, that's something that is being investigated, we're told. But that's something that we continue to talk about. Nobody is happy about that situation. But I think that
the bailiff.
Of course. Why did we even show it? Why did we even show it? Why are we even talking about it?
You even said it's today the 3rd day or 2nd day. Has any of those critical voices that indicated the NDC should go to court, have they spoken against this? Have they? Aren't you worried that those who were cajoling the NDC, coaxing the NDC to go to court, now people have gone to court, they are going to serve processes, you are disrupting the court process, beating people up, and they are not talking. Is that not worrying? What would then happen to we lawyers if we then go to court and represent one side? This is a bailiff they're beating. The lawyer who is directly in the case, is his life, can you say he's safe?
Well, what have you heard? You're also a lawyer.
You see, don't trivialize this, you know. This bailiff by now is either in the hospital, his wife by now is worried about all this. So please, join me to call on the people, the Peace Council, the Christian Council, Emil Short, and all the pastors, the churches, imams, to criticize the beating of this bailiff. You may see him as an insignificant person, but when an injustice is done to somebody, it means that that injustice is against all of us. We must have people who will protect people like the bailiff. And I want you to join me, rather than critiquing me or criticizing those people who are not speaking.
Mr. Malba, you're not appreciating the opportunity that you have this morning on this platform. What else are we doing? You're talking, you're making your appeal. And I don't think that that's been hindered. That's an opportunity that you've also been given to add your voice. I'm only saying that we will not associate ourselves when you mention specifically some certain allegations that we cannot substantiate.
So leave me to carry my
yeah, but you're also sitting on my platform. So when you make wild allegations, I will not allow you to continue. That's all that I'm saying.
So yes, we all have our rights. So if you will not allow me, fine, I have said it, and then we can proceed.
Yeah, we're going to allow you to stick to the facts. Okay. Is this an issue because you say that this is something that the NDC is interested in? Would we see you take any kind of action?
This is a criminal case. Clearly, I'm sure the bailiff will be advised to go and report to the police station.
That has already been done.
Exactly. So this is a criminal case. What we will be looking out for is to see how the police will handle this. And then we could give him, the bailiff, some legal assistance. That I can assure you, as the Director of Legal Affairs, I can instruct my lawyers in the Volta region to give him.
Oh, but would he even need that? Because he was there in the name of the courts. So won't the court take its own action?
No, but that doesn't stop us from giving legal assistance, free legal assistance. That is done. The court doesn't have lawyers. The court doesn't have its own lawyers. The court would rely on lawyers from the general pool. So what I'm saying is that this is a criminal matter. We'll watch brief. Lawyers in criminal matters will watch brief and see how the prosecution will handle this case. Look at how he is. Look at his face, puff face. These are people who have indicated that they are the doyen of rule of law, that's the MPP. Now you have a bailiff going to serve a document alone and he's beaten to pulp. What has become of your principles that you are a government that looks up to the rule of law and democracy? What has become of it?
Okay, well, I guess we'll leave the conversation here. You're in court either tomorrow or Wednesday, the last day.
There's also the issue of Kenya, Japan threatening to burn the houses of some of our leaders. That is also an issue that the CID must take seriously. Burning. We've gotten to a point that people can now sit on national television and openly declare amalgam. That's where we have gotten to.
Is that matter that you've drawn the police attention to?
No, we've written to the police and we'll be at the CID headquarters tomorrow to have a chit-chat with them and see the way forward. Threatening the former president's life by saying you burn his house and other senior general secretary by a member of parliament should be something worrying.
Why are you waiting till tomorrow to have a conversation with the police on this matter?
No, it's a holiday. Will they be there? It's a holiday.
So you haven't reported the incident?
The incident will formally be reported tomorrow to the CID headquarters.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And then the parliamentary issues, when would we see you go to court on those?
I can tell you that yesterday, the legal team met. We have finished our draft. I can indicate to you that we would be able to file within next week. But that is dependent on if they have gazetted the parliamentary results. Don't forget that there was some brouhaha about the gazetting. The man in charge of the agency says that, yes, it has been brought, but we are not selling. EC says that what you see as a gazette is not a gazette. You know, the EC has never gotten anything right ever since the elections ended. That's the kind of EC you have. The credibility of that EC is now thrown to the dogs. Errors reading EC. Simple gazetting, which is done, and you don't even hear in previous times. Now, this EC, you remember, could not even put in a CI. Eh? You remember he had to withdraw CI 3 times, 4 times. That's a kind of
no, but isn't that something that happens with the, making regulations? We see that happen all the time in Parliament, except that maybe this one had the publicity because of the nature, because it's a main election. But we see regulations being withdrawn all the time from Parliament and taken back.
Tell me under Farajan which regulation was withdrawn. Tell me under Charlotte which regulation was withdrawn. The reason why in those days you didn't hear regulations withdrawn was because the EC worked with the political parties to fashion out the regulation. This EC will not talk to any political party. They are on their own. They have virtually decided that they will not deal with IPAC. IPAC is now an information sharing platform. we are going to do this,
well,
we are going to do this, but no longer a platform where the political parties are stakeholders work with the EC to come out with an outcome.
I guess we're where we are now. You're going to court, so we'll see how things develop from the court. We'll be following up to see if you actually do it tomorrow or Wednesday, but we will be sure to report it. Ms. Abraham Amalaba is a member of the NDC's legal team. Thank you very much for joining us today. Stay with us. We still have plenty more to share with you on this holiday.